What's up, YouTube? All right, let's talk about back cuts. We talk about notches. Let's talk about back cuts, because back cuts are the most critical part of felling that directly affects your life. How you make your back cuts, it affects the life, and it really affects the quality of the tree or the log you're about to have. So I got a little scenario drew out right here. These are two equal trees as far as diameter. This is a softwood, hardwood. At the average hardwood, the average softwood, as far as conifer pine, loblolly, black pine, yellow pine, spruces. Let's just say this is average. Let's say the canopy is average on 30 foot. The canopy on average is 60 foot. They're both 24 inches in diameter, and let's say they're both 60 foot tall. Okay. The 24 inch, let's say a 10 foot log, 24 inches in diameter pine, I'm going to say it's going to weigh roughly 800 pounds. Roughly 800 pounds. So you're getting 10 24 inch blocks, and each block's going to weigh into 55 pounds, so maybe 1,000. 24 inch white oak log, 24 inch white oak log, 10 foot, it's probably going to be 2,000 pounds, because the 24 inch white oak log or block, just say you're cutting 24 inch blocks, 24 inch block of firewood, if you ever try to pick them up and load them on a truck, it's probably going to be pushing 110 pounds, 120 pounds. They're pretty heavy. So you're looking at just the log, just the fibers, just how I don't know what the word is, but you guys do. I mean, I know what the word is, I just ain't coming to me because of my mind. But anyway, just the weight ratio versus hardwood versus softwood is just that. Maybe doubled. So we got 6,000 pounds here. Let's just say 6,000. 6,000 pounds. You guys watch August's videos and you may get a little perspective of it, a little weight. Let's just say we got 6,000 pounds total on this tree. But a 60 foot, 24 inch tree right here is going to be pushing, I'm going to say, because we was talking logs, now we're talking tops, canopies, all this. This tree is going to push probably 16,000. Probably 16,000 pounds because of this. Because of all this. That's the difference maker, guys. That's the difference in the felling techniques. This is why, more than lean, this is why the weight, the canopy weight, the top weight, is why more than lean, you with me? This is why more than lean, we use the bore cut. Because it's not all nice and uniform like this. I mean, you take this off, you take just this one limb right here off. You take that off, guys, and this tree perfectly straight. You gonna be able to bang that tree over that way? No, you're not. I don't care. I don't care how many wedges you stack in it. The fibers ain't gonna let you. You know, your intent might be good, and your efforts may be really, really good, but the fibers ain't gonna let you in that tree. I mean, if all this weight is on this one side and that tree is 100% straight, I'm gonna talk about. Let's just say it's straight. Just a scenario. There's no way you're gonna bang this tree over. Like, there's no way you're gonna bang it 180 degrees the other way. I mean, you can drop it, 45 degrees in each way, but in the logging world, you're not really going to try to do that much swinging with them, just because we're trying to get high quality logs. Just dropping them scenario, just trying to get them down for safety or whatever, like the tree service kind of thing. See, that's what we're needing. That's where everybody's kind of off and confused when it comes to swinging trees. In the logger world, you don't really try to swing them. You don't try to do the drastic swings. I mean, there's circumstances you have to try to do it, but out of 1,000 trees, you're just going to kind of pick the way that's kind of leaning, and you're going to try to keep putting them in that hole. Keep putting them in the hole. Put them in the holes. You're not going to try to want them all over here. You're not going to try to drop every tree right here, no matter what the lean is. That's just not it, because you're not going to have the quality of logs you want. Because you're going to have pull and fiber pull. You have splits. It's going to happen because in this world right here, bore cuts are essential. Because it sets up, you give you time to set up your hands. That way you can make a nice release. That way you're not destroying veneer trees or nice saw logs or stove logs, or I say stove logs, it sounds like a firewood log, but no, stove is what they make whiskey barrels out of. So you're not destroying a stove log. In this scenario, it's more neutral. Most of them are way more neutral, and you're going to have a lot more time. And for two different reasons. You have more time for two different reasons. And this, for let's say a 24-inch log, we know it's a pretty good sized tree. You know what I'm saying? It's like an average big tree. For us, let's say my 372s, it's going to take my 372s roughly, let's just say 11 seconds. I'm just saying 11 seconds. It's going to take my 372s 11 seconds to cut through a white oak, red oak, or hickory, let's just say, a hardwood, into the 24-inch area. It may take a little bit longer, it may take less. But for a 24-inch pine block, it's going to take about half the time. Because it's softwood, it's going to be pulling. My RPM's going to stay up there, and it's going to pull that wood out, and it's going to take a lot less time to cut, as in time, to get through that. And you don't have enough saw to power. There's not many saws, and you don't have enough to power through a heavy topped or leaner hardwood. You ain't going to have enough saw. You're going to destroy your saw logs, because it's about logging. It's not about just dropping them. It's not just about getting them down. It's about having quality logs. So that's why a bore cut's essential. You know what I'm saying? And over here, it's not as essential. I mean, in some cases, the occasional scenario you'll need a bore cut, but most of the time you're not. I don't have like the factual information here for me, so that's why you and me, kind of need to maybe do a little research and stuff on it, and I'll try to dig up some links or something to maybe kind of back up a little bit what I'm saying. But if you've ever picked up a block of wood of each, then you know what I'm saying. If you're kind of in this work, if you're kind of experimenting in it, new, whether you're a rookie, whether you're 30-year veteran, you know exactly what I'm talking about as far as weight. Because you could have, let's take pine. You can take and put 2 full-length log bunks on a semi truck, and you're going to be pushing I'm talking about full-length logs. Round it up as high as you can round. Extending the beds, 15, 20 feet. But you take pulpwood logs or hardwood pulp logs, you're going to get about a half on there before you're already at your max weight for your legally limits. It's not going to it's just less. So, saying all that, we need to grasp this before we get into back cuts. Difference in weights, difference in canopy pulls, because the canopy is going to pull. Look, this tree can be, let's just say this tree was leaning like this. This tree was leaning like that. Let's say this tree had a lean like this. This is a tree. Oh, let's say it's not that drastic. See, you guys are creating a monster here. Okay, this is the tree now. Do all this here. Which way is that tree going to go? Which way is this tree going to go? Is it going to go the way the canopy is, or is it going to the way the log's leaning? Huh? That's a good question. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say 9 times out of 10, it's going this way. It's gonna go, because you have this log, this tree right here is probably, this just one log, this one branch is probably pushing 20, let's say 2,100 pounds. If it's 35-foot length. And it's, if this tree is 24 inches in diameter, this is gonna probably be the bottom log, the bottom limb, you know, the major fork, the major limb is probably gonna be pushing 12, 13, 14 inches, 15 inches. So 15 inches at 35 feet is a lot of weight, plus all the little branches coming off of it. Plus you got this one, just say it's half. Let's say that's 18 feet or 15 feet. I know 18 is not half of 24, but let's just try, I'm just trying to keep it real. So you have all this weight up here on this side. It's going that way. Okay. Now we got the weight ratio, which is really what we need to be looking at. Is what the difference maker is in hardwood versus softwood. And of course, we all know the softwood's not all like this. It can also be lopsided, but it's still, the branches can be lopsided on them, but you still ain't got the leverage. You know what I'm saying? This is leverage. If you ever used pry bars or did any kind of mechanical advantage stuff, you know you definitely know additional foot and extensions is it's leverage. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Take this. Next time you're dragging brush, take a 20-foot limb and hold it at the butt. Try to hold it out like this. Just try to pick it up. Then take a 10-foot, 5-foot. You know what I'm saying? Just try to pick it straight up and see if you can hold it out. Just different lengths. And then whenever you get to a, just try to do it like that, guys. Just try to do. Listen. This is a great experiment for you and me, and I'll try it. Let's see if we can get a limb the same weight. Let's have one. Like let's say a block of wood. A block of wood weighs 50 pounds. Then let's get a 50-pound long limb, and let's see which one of us is pulling it. See which one is pulling us over this way more. If it's a 20-foot, 50-pound limb, let's say 50 pounds. If it's 20 foot long and 50 pounds versus a 50-pound block or a bag of feed, which one is pulling us over more? Which one is harder for us to hold up? And we're having to lean back and hold. Try that. That really is great. Because I've never done it, but I've loaded brush before. I've picked it up and throwed it, and the length does matter. Even if it's smaller versus big, you know, the length does matter. I mean, if you take a pole this as tall as I am that weighs 100 pounds, and all you gotta do is just flip it right here in the middle, and you can just throw it. But you take a 100-pound limb that's 25 foot long, it takes a lot more effort. So that's just leverage. And guys, sorry about the length, but I'm trying to get every little variable, which I'm still not getting every little variable. It's still not. There's still a lot more to it, especially whenever you really get into experience with that kind of stuff. Okay, now let's talk notches. Let's back cuts. This is our Holden wood. We don't care what kind of notch we're using right now. We're just talking back cuts. The depth ratio and all that stuff is off on this. So, okay, let's talk back cuts. There's a couple different kind of back cuts. Well, there's actually 3 that I use. Let's say the 3 that I use. Okay, this is gonna be the 3 that I use. That know-it-all, arrogant George uses. I'm not worried about what type of knots I'm using right now. I'm going to just talking back cuts. On the first one, we're going to do just a standard cut-in back cut. You want to let's say it's a 20-inch tree. You got a 24-inch bar. 24-inch bar. Well, this is the type of tree that you can just come in on. If it's kind of neutral. This is a straight in back cut. This is the kind of tree you just come straight in on. Let's say there's a house, and this is where experience and the finessing of steering a tree comes in. You can kind of steer a tree this way because you can leave your hinge sticker, but these two you're not going to really be able to steer a tree on. I'll get to that in a minute. This is a kind of tall, neutral spruce or pine. This is how you can kind of steer a tree. It's neutral, right? We're talking about neutral tree. We're not talking about leaners, hard leaners, big tops. This is neutral. And I'm not going to try to spell neutral because I can't. This is a neutral tree. So it's nice and tall and straight. Everything, it's balanced. So you can cut it and just leave it on like an inch hinge and it's going to stay there. You know, the wind might blow it one way or the other, or you can just set a wedge and hit it twice. It's going to go one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Okay. This is the kind of tree you can just, come in on. Come straight in on and make your back cut. But because it's smaller than the diameter of your saw and it's neutral. So, and you can steer that by, let's say there's let's say we want to get it to come this way. And this right here is where I want to get it really kind of emphasize on. We want it to come this way. We want the tree to come, it's left, so we're going to just try to push it to the left. It's kind of got a neutral lean, but we want to push it to the left because there's a house right here. There's a house right here. How are you, this is what kind of pay attention right here. Whenever you start making this back cut, how are you coming into this tree? Of course, because if you want it to come this way, you want to leave your fat hinge on this side. Right? You know what I mean? No. See, that's just dumb. That's just a dumb scenario. Let me talk about this. Erase that from your memory, guys. Because I ain't going to be able to explain that right. I'm not going to explain that. I'm not going to be able to explain that right. I need to stick to the basics real fast. Because that really kind of would confuse you. So I need to step back. That's my bad, my fault. That's totally different. I want to get into that by all by itself. I don't want to get that into the notches or back cuts. So this is what we're talking about. We're doing a straight in back cut, right? Straight in back cut, neutral tree. It's neutral. That's neutral. Plus and negative, it's neutral. Yeah. Okay, on this, you can do a straight in back cut on it. It's not going to affect anything. That's just coming straight in, or however you want to on the back, straight in. It's not really going to affect. It's not going to blow out on you or anything like that. On this tree, let's say it's 30 inches, and you're using a 20-inch chain, 20-inch bar. Okay. Let's say it's neutral also. Or even if it's leaner. Let's say this is a heavy top, or it's bigger. It's too big, and it's heavier, and it's not like a hard leaner, but it kind of is. This is the back cut you would use if you didn't like to do bore cut. The first thing you would do is what I do. I'll come in on the sides and clip all this sapwood right here, because sapwood does a lot. It's got a lot of holes, and it'll scar the whole side of the tree. It'll peel the whole side of the tree out and start pulling fibers, or maybe it'll coax it one way or the other. So I'll come in about 2 inches and clip that, and then I'll make my cut in this way. What you're doing is you're forming a wedge. You come in let's say 6 or 7 inches. You'll clip that, and then you'll come in and leave in your hinge here, come in 6 or 7 inches, right? Then you'll do the same thing on this side. Clip that sapwood, come in, and have your nice wedge. This is holding the tree. This right here will hold it. Now, you're gonna have enough power to power through this, and then get out of the way. You know what I'm saying? So before, you didn't have enough saw or any of that stuff. It's not big enough. So that's how you would do that. You'd come in, you're cutting a wedge. You can do that, or you can do the box, or a box. Depending on the species of wood, I do both. You see, that's the wedge, but then you can do the same thing with a box cut. You do the same thing. You come in, and you square it up. Come in, you know what I'm talking about. You got your hinge. You'll hold your saw here. You'll come in, and you come out. Come over here. Come in. Come back in, and then you're just cutting this 16-inch wood or 12-inch wood, something that you know your saw is going to eat up pretty quick. That way it ain't busting out or you're splitting. Because we're talking a lot bigger and heavier tree, maybe even a little bit of a leaner. And that's the way you can do leaners, heavy top trees, something that's a little more technical. It gives you the time and power, saw power and speed you need to get through this wood without compromising the log. 'Cause we're really talking about log quality more than just getting it down. You know what I'm saying? So this all has to do with log quality. So this one lets you get down without busting, splitting, and all that stuff, and it's safer. So the next one, that's the two different ways. You can either do the box cut or the wedge. I do both, depending on the species of wood. With softwood, I'll do the wedge, and you know, sometimes with softwood, I'll do like a kind of a bore cut. I'll just cut in, and I'll just cut in, and then I'll pull my saw all the way around. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. I'm going to just get into these standard back cuts. Okay, you can either do for a heavier, a bigger tree that's bigger than the diameter of your saw, too much saw for you to power through, a tree that's technical a little bit, that's got a little bit of a lean to it, that you may be afraid it's a barber chair. It's bigger than the diameter is bigger than the length of your bar. This is what you can use. I use both of them, depending on the species of your tree. And this one is probably one of the most, this is going to be what I use majority of the time. I'll just leave that. So we got, sorry guys, we got the pie, or however you want to say it, in the box. And this is going to be the bore cut. This is one of the, I use a lot because it does several things. Okay, the way I do this, I'll clip this outside edge, and then I don't start right here where my hinge is. I'll set my notch up, and I'll clip that edge, then I'll come back with the tip of my saw and I'll push in. And then I'll work around until I got me some holdwood back here. Then I'll come back in. Then I'll come back in into my hinge on this side. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take my saw. I'm gonna take my saw. I'm gonna run my tip in there. Wham! I'm gonna scribe back, and then I'm gonna push in just like this, just like that, and then I'm gonna cut around. And this will give me a plate. And then I'm gonna come back and get my hinge where I want it. And I'm gonna set a wedge right here. I'm gonna come back in and get my hinge where I want it. Then I'm gonna come back out. And that's how I do it. Then I'll come to this side, and I'll come off I'm making mine flat with my flats. You know what I'm saying? You got the flat of your notch. I'll lay my. This is how I get my bore cuts to match up. I'll lay my saw flat on my notch. You got your notch like this, right? and I'm not doing the step down. I'll do the step down I'll just show you. Okay, look, I'll come off my notch. I'll come off the flat of my notch. Take that little bit of edge and then scribe in. Then I'll push in. You know what I'm saying? And that, if you do that flat and flat, it's going to meet because your bore cuts are going to meet. So what I'm doing, I'm coming off the flat. I'm going to clip that edge. I'm pushing in well behind where I want my notch. I'm pushing in well behind where I'm going to have my holding wood. I'm going to scribe down, just like that, scribe down, push in, come up, set my hinge up. All this right here is still holding. You get a nice, perfect little holding wood right here. You know what I'm talking about? All this is holding the tree up. So then I'm going to come on in and get my hinge perfect, because just a little bit too much hinge in this is going to destroy the tree. It may alter the direction of the tree a little bit, but that's really not what I'm worried about. As a contract timber cutter, I want to get that guy every dollar that I can get him. It's about the dollars. I want the highest quality logs I can get him, because that's how he bases my pay. That's how he's going to call me back. Because if I'm cutting him good veneer and I'm not plugging it, blowing the sides out of it, he's going to call me back. He's going to be like, "Hey man, come back. We got some work for you." So this is quality, guys. This is quality. So I'm going to get me a nice, 1.5 hinge right here. And then what I'm going to do next, and this is it's kind of important. Okay, you got the tree, right? You got the flat of the notch here. I've made my bore cut. I'm going to come in on the back. I'm going to come in just a little bit below, maybe an inch or two. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming down. I'm dropping below my flat and my bore cut. I'm going to drop down below it, and then whenever I come out the back, it's going to pull up like that, and it's giving me a little bit stouter. It's giving me a little bit more time to get away. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just coming all the way out the back, because it'll pull these little fibers here. That right there will just break off. So whenever you back out, it'll just pop and go. That's your release. So all this is holding while you're setting all this up. All this is just giving you time. And then whenever you make your back cut out, and then your little tab right here. A lot of people will back cut out like this. A lot of people do this. But this is how I do it. That's how I do it. There's another, like I'm fixing to show you the other way. After you make your back cut out, after you get your holding wood here set up where it's holding, after you do your bore cut, a lot of people just come in straight from the back and cut in. I don't do that. And there's other people that come in and just set up another hinge back here. I don't do that either. I'll just come in like this. To me, it's more efficient. It's creating less errors, because right here, if you set up another hinge back here, you can still have some pull. We're talking quality, guys. We're talking quality logs. Because I want every dollar. If I'm cutting for me, which I have several thousand times, if I own my own business, I'm cutting my own timber. The $300 versus $40 this is going to be is a lot of money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Because if let's say you contracted 7 acres to cut, and you're pulling the hearts out of these, or you're splitting the sides out of them, you're turning this $300-400 log, just say on average, $300-400 log into a number 4, which is bringing you $10-12, which is less than you would get with firewood. So it's about the quality in money at the end of the day. So this is what I do, because it's a little bit more consistent. I get a lot more quality of a log out of it. That's it. That's how I do it. Everybody on the same page? If you got any questions, just ask me. If you think I'm an idiot, just tell me. So, but this works for me. There's a couple different variations you can do, and like I said, all this depends on species of wood, guys. and you start cutting. Um, but this is the basic stuff you need to know about back cuts. This is the basics, and then you'll start determining when and what species is the correct time to use these. That's something you're going to learn, because I can sit here and tell you, and then every time you go to a white oak, you're going to try to use this one, or every time you go to a red oak, you're going to use this one. Sometimes it's not going to work out for you. You know what I'm saying? So this is the basics of back cutting here. These are different techniques you can use. Like I said, all this varies with species of wood. You know what I'm saying? Let's not be narrow-minded and all biased, because you've always only used this one. It's the only cut you ever used, but it's only one ever used. And then there's no other one. You can make a straight back cut, and because you can control the direction of the fell with this one, but you can't control the direction of the fell with this one, which is false, because the hinge controls the direction. The hinge controls the direction of the fell. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a hard leaner, and then gravity is the boss. You can try to sway it your way, but most time gravity is the boss. So, you know, if you make your own, this is what I'm saying. Let's communicate. If there's different ways and better ways, let me know, because I'd like to learn them. Because if I can expand my skill set, and it's going to create more work opportunities and job opportunities for me, and make my situations easier and safer, hey, this guy wants it, you know. Because even though I think I know a lot, even though I think I'm an expert, even though even though I'm telling you that there's nothing I can't do, I'm still learning stuff every day, because there's little variations of everything. Everything. We're talking about basics here. There's little bitty variations of everything. So if you have a little... Alright guys, hopefully you enjoy this video. I know I rambled a little bit, and I hate doing it, but hopefully we can kind of just try and grab at what you can, because it's kind of bouncy. But one thing I just want to say, that there's a difference between production cutting and just trying to get stuff down. In production cutting, very seldom do you try to do what you call steer a tree. And steer a tree, I'm just saying this, guys, because there's a difference between the direction fell and steering. Whenever you steer a tree, you're kind of using the thickness of your hinge as it's coming over to kind of to steer it, and you can do that in just dropping scenarios. But if you're production cutting, that doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't happen, because you're more interested in the quality of log. So you're setting a nice hinge up, and you're getting the nice general direction. You're not having to tweak every little 2 or 3 feet by steering them. And steering a tree is just that. You stay there, and you work on your hinge, because you don't really care what quality of log you're getting. You're really focused on the direction. So you can kind of steer some trees. There's a lot of trees you can't steer. You can try do a lot of them, but if it's a tall, long, neutral tree that ain't got a lot of weight here or there, you can. But if we're talking about, you know, big heavy tops, after gravity takes over on those things, the weight and leverage of them big limbs, they're going to outdo your little trying to steer maneuvers, and it's going to bust a split on you on hardwoods. But softwoods you can kind of steer a lot easier. Some tall, neutral oaks you can, but a little bit too thick of a hinge on oak could be devastating as far as barber chairing, because, you know, a half-inch hinge on oak, it's going to barber chair, even if it's a straight tree, because as it's coming over, therefore it's become a leaner. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a lot of hinge and it's coming over, then you develop a lean scenario where you got a lot of hinge and it's going to barber chair. You know what I'm saying? That's why we use a bore cut majority of the time on even smaller diameter trees. You can just bore cut, set up a nice perfect hinge, because we're after quality. In the logging world, you're after quality. And then, because I do both worlds, the tree service and the logging world. So that's the kind of difference between steering and the directional failing. Hopefully it helps. Um, I'm gonna say practice both, but practice in an environment where it's not gonna matter. You know what I'm saying? Practice in an environment where there's not, if you know what I'm saying, practice makes perfect, but don't practice on the job. How about that? See you. Have a great day, guys.